My name is Matt Donoghue. I am Director of Graduate Studies, as Emma said. So what it basically means is one of my jobs is to kind of help look after all the graduate students in the school and help assist the program directors, who you'll hear from in a minute. So I just want to give a really brief overview of our school. I don't want to take up too much time, but we're in a really privileged position in our school that we have kind of three really strong degree areas which have a good level of interdisciplinarity. And there's a really good opportunity for you to learn not only from the peers on your degree course, but also on other degree courses, and sometimes as well in the broader College of Social Sciences and Law. So within this school, you get to take modules spanning social and public policy, social work, social justice and equality studies. Um, and I like to think that we've got a really good kind of student atmosphere and environment. Students year on year tell us kind of they experience high levels of support and collegiality. So it's a really nice place to be. We're all really nice, we're really supportive, and really we just want to help you learn. So I'll hand over to Orla now, and if anyone has any questions they want to put in the chat, I can start answering those, or I can signpost them to the right people. Thanks very much, Orla.
Great. Hi, everybody. I hope you all can see my screen here. Welcome. My name is Orla Kelly, and I am the director of the Masters in Public Policy, and I've also ran the internship program for the last couple of years. So basically, our Masters in Public Policy, who is it for? So anybody who has an interest in a range of economic, social, environmental issues, we're, as we all know from those fuel protests during the week and everything else that's happening in the world, we're living in a complex world, and as well as technical solutions, we are definitely looking to understand how policies can be made and implemented in a way that kind of addresses these crises in a holistic way. So our Masters of Public Policy is basically there to give you the best starting point that you can in order to enter into this field. So we give methods training, we get students to specialize in an area of interest that they really want to work in more. And we draw on a range of disciplines. So we'll give you training in policy analysis and other things, but we draw on economics and sociology, political science, lots of different things. So it's a very interdisciplinary degree. So with an interdisciplinary degree, it means we get a great mix of students in terms of their career path. Some are mid-career people who come back and are looking to kind of upskill in order to pivot into another role in the organization they're already in, or maybe they're looking for a career change overall. So with that, we have some students who do the degree full-time and others who do it part-time over 2 years. And then we have new grads as well who maybe really want to kind of I've got an idea of the area that they want to work in, but really want to build their skills to give them the best shot for the job market. So it's a really nice mix of students. It's great. I love teaching on the degree because you get such a range of people on it. And in terms of the students, you get to know lots of different peers, as Matt said, which is one of the best parts of graduate programs. And from a professional perspective, you really get a nice opportunity to kind of build your own network as well. So this stuff is available online, but in general, if you do the taught masters, it's 90 credits, and you can either do it over 1 year or 2. 60 of those credits are taught, and 30 go towards a dissertation or internship. And then you also have the option to just do 40 credits. So you do the 3 core module and 1 option, and then you get a graduate certification. Or you can do 60 credits altogether, where you just don't do that final summer capstone dissertation or internship, and then you kind of come out with a graduate diploma. So lots of different options. And we have just this year reformed we've just reformed the program structure to really streamline it and give students the best opportunity to kind of specialize in the areas that are most of interest to them. So everybody gets this core grounding in these core modules, the data and methods, public administration, and evidence-based policy making. And these three core modules all run on a Friday. So for those people who are balancing maybe some part-time work, this is a really great way to make sure you're just on campus on Friday. You get your core modules out of the way. You get to spend time with your cohort and get to know them. Then we have 20 credits of option modules from across the college, really. And you can specialize in economic and regulatory policy, sustainable systems policy and government. These are more looking at environmental related and sustainability related topics. Then we have European and global governance. For those people maybe looking to go for international NGO work, EU jobs, really kind of that global regulatory and policy sphere. And then for people who are looking to focus more on societal, social issues, integration, migration, housing, we have that specialization as well. Again, in our kind of overhauled program this year as well, you get to take an additional 10 credits of methods training. So this can be research design, qualitative research, or if you really want to up your quantitative skills or maybe data visualization, you get to choose one of those modules too. And then the summer trimester, 30 credits, and you can either pick a topic that you really want to do a deep dive into, and you work with one of the academics in the school here who will supervise you throughout the summer, or else you have the option to do the internship. So we have about 12 to 15 places with organizations we work with every year in the internship program. So they include the EPA, IJUST, the government department who places students in lots of departments across government, depending on your area of interest and your skill set. Threshold, a housing policy NGO, Disability Rights Federation. And then on top of that, we really encourage students to also look for their own internship too, to make sure that they are getting to really specialize and kind of bridge their careers right into that job market by finding something that really fits for them. So we're seeing more and more students opt. We've had the highest number ever of those who opted for the internship this year. So it's really getting popular, I think, as students are really appreciating that opportunity to build their network and really kind of transition as seamlessly into the labor market as they can. So that's the internship is a 12-week full-time placement, and the dissertation is a 10,000 word dissertation. That's the research project. That's the alternative. So again, career pathways, we've had students go into lots of different roles in government, in the private sector, in nonprofit. We're very lucky to have a good network, as I said, through the internship program and others, and our graduates have gone on to great things in lots of these different roles. So I'll leave it at that, and I'll pass over to Dorota, who is overseeing the Masters in Equality Studies, to tell you more about that. And I'm looking forward to your questions if you have any.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dorota Szelewa, and I'm the Director of Graduate Programs within the Social Justice part of our school. And actually, I have a very small time to really talk about 3 of our programs, but I will try to do it quickly as well. So as you can see on our UCD course catalog, we basically have first of all, like 2 programs. The first one is Master MSc in Equality Studies. And then we have also a main gender studies, and both are available in full-time and part-time versions. So often we get a question like, what's the difference between those 2? And basically our answer is that while MSc in Equality Studies is focused on interdisciplinary understanding of global social justice issues, various types of intersecting inequalities, and a wide range of equality issues, including human rights and also gender equality studied from gender perspective. A main gender studies is really focused on gender perspective very much. The students usually they have interest in studying sexualities, in studying public policy from the perspective of gender politics, and various approaches to feminism. We also have this new program, MSc in Social Justice Studies, we write at the beginning of developing the program. So if you're more interested, you can also contact me afterwards. In general, if I were to characterize all of our programs, I would say that our programs empower students with theories, evidence, critical perspective, and it's all just to understand the nature of inequality, oppression, and power relations within contemporary world. We do have world-class expertise in such areas as economic inequality, political economy, gender and sexualities, as I already mentioned, human rights, racism, anti-racism, policy and politics, and examining these issues. We are examining these issues in Ireland, across Europe, and in the global context. So we do have these various perspectives also when it comes to what world regions we are focusing on. And so that also means we're very interdisciplinary, and we really welcome students for a wide range of backgrounds, experiences, interests, whether you're beginning or continuing your interest in social justice, you're maybe community activist, development practitioner, educator, healthcare professional, civil servant, politician, or a journalist. You're very welcome to join our program, and we also encourage very much applications from those who are interested in pursuing research degrees. So that's it from me, I guess. If you have any questions, you're welcome to contact me especially about the program. And still, if you have any issues with the application process or any administrative issues, please contact Mr. Dominic Scheller, and he will be very helpful here as well. And now I'll just let me introduce Dr. Mary Kelly, who is an assistant professor in social work and program director of the Professional Masters of Social Work. And I will stop sharing. Thank you very much.
So I'm the program director for the Professional Masters in Social Work at UCD. It's a 2-year program. So I'm going to give you an overview of the program. So how you get onto the program. The duration is 2 years full time. So it's Monday to Friday. It's meant to be 9 to 5. The format over recent years is that you're in class in the building or online for 3 days out of the week. And the other 2 days are where you're supposed to be doing your written work and you're working your assignments, your research. So it's full-time course, but you're in class 3 days a week. We've 1 day online. At the minute, it's on a Wednesday, I can't remember actually. Jack's going to answer to this. I think it's a Wednesday that you're online, but I'm going to introduce Jack after this, and Jack's going to give you more insight. So when you do the program, you're able to register with the Irish Health and Social Care Registration Body. It's called CORU. In order to work as a social worker or a health and social care professional in Ireland, you have to be registered with CORU. So our programme is CORU approved, which means that they've checked that our educational standard it meets their needs and requirements. So the entry requirements onto the programme are that you have to have a level 8 degree with a significant social policy component and a minimum of a 2 in your grading. Applicants must complete at least 420 hours of voluntary work experience with a minimum of 250 to be completed by the February 1st in the year of application. So that means that if you apply for our programme in October, November, December, you have to have 250 hours done by the following February. Relevant work experience, we ask that the work experience that you include as part of your application has some form of advocacy in it. So how we explain that is it could be that you're working with children or adults in a social care setting. It could be that you're in daycare and healthcare environments, as long as you're using advocacy. So the likes of a care assistant providing personal care needs, that wouldn't be sufficient unless you can clearly articulate how you're using advocacy skills and how you're working in some way to meet the social work experience requirements. So a lot of our applicants would come in with experience in voluntary NGOs such as Childline, where they give advice over the phone to children. Some people come in with residential or social care experience. Some people come in with voluntary experience. It's just to make sure that you can demonstrate that you're using some form of social work skill in the work experience that you've done to date. And what you can expect is two 14-week supervised placements. They take place in the middle of January to towards the third or fourth week in April, and it happens on the first year and the second year of your programme. The academic in-class learning component happens from September to December each year, and during the summer of your first year, you do a critical literature review. So in your first year, the modules that you would cover would be law for social work, counselling skills, human development and human behaviour for social work, adult services and grief and loss, child and welfare protection 1, research methods, preparation for going out on placement, social work methods, and you would do your placement in year 1. Year 2, you do group and community work, adult services and health 2, justice and human rights, counselling skills 2, preparation for practice 2, child and family services 2, advanced theories and methods. You have a second placement. And as I said, from the transition into year 1 to year 2, you will have done your critical literature review research project. The professional outcomes are that you're able to apply for registration with Coru as long as you pass all the modules and the placements. So just to give you some contextual understanding of where you can go with your social work qualification, social workers work everywhere in Ireland, and there's very few services in health and social care that you won't find us. You could work with acquired brain injury, you could work in advocacy services, you could be in children in care, children in foster care, you could be working with people with disabilities as adults and physical, intellectual, sensory, or people with the diagnosis of autism. You could be duly qualified social worker. You could be working in a safeguarding role whilst having a therapeutic qualification. You would have to do the therapeutic qualification separately. For people who have an existing therapeutic qualification, having a social work qualification makes them more employable in certain clinical settings. You could go into fostering. You could be a guardian ad litem. You could work in homelessness. You could be in mental health. You could be in maternity and neonatal. You could be in retrospective disclosure, which is where, unfortunately, people experience abuse as children and they disclose it in adulthood. You would be a specialist social worker helping them through that process. You could work in palliative care, you could work with travellers and other ethnic minorities. Really, the employment opportunities in Ireland are endless at the minute. We have a shortage of social workers and we're very employable. So, for those of you who have an offer, and you have a couple of offers, because at the minute there are 14 social work programmes in Ireland, why would you accept an offer to come and study in UCD? Well, you would have a professionally accredited qualification. We have strong employability outcomes. So TUSLA and the HFC have agreed to offer our graduates employment before they qualify. As long as they do pass all the modules and get through the placements, they are offered jobs and they try to align the jobs in our health. So the health service executive is our national health service provider. They try to match people's interests with the setting and location. We integrate theory into practice quite well on the programme, and we prepare you for real social work settings. Our lecturers try to do that, to bring a bit of practice into the classroom, or a lot of it. We have strong partnerships with agencies for getting placements. We have structured supervision and support. So we have people who are called practice tutors who link the university to the student whilst on placement. And we also have practice teachers who support the student whilst they're on placement. We have access to extensive campus facilities in UCD. We're as far as I'm aware, we're the largest campus in the country, and we have a lot of services. We have support services and academic guidance. So we have a lot of services to support our students to do the best that they can do and to achieve the best they can as social work postgraduates. So we also have a diverse student community. Our classroom in social work in particular has people from all over the world with all different backgrounds, which brings a lot to the teaching. So the applications for this year are now closed. Applications for entry for 2027 will open up on the 1st of October, and the closing date that we expect to close will be January 2027, although this year we did extend slightly, so that may be extended. So thanks everybody. I'm going to hand over to Jack now. Jack is one of our first year students. I haven't seen him in a little while. I was saying to him that it gets very lonely in UCD when our students go on placement because we don't see them. So it's nice to see you, Jack, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Hi everyone, my name's Jack. I'm a first year student in the Professional Masters. So I suppose there's a few talking points that I'll go through. The first one is kind of why I chose UCD to do the course. Before I figured out that I wanted to go on and study social work, I met with social workers and I met with a few psychologists, see which one I had more of an interest in, and social work won by a landslide. But any of the social workers I met all trained in UCD, and they all, spoke very highly of the course. The theory to practice bit was mentioned quite a lot, and it is one of the strongest parts of the course. And, especially being on placement at the minute, I'm seeing just how valuable that really is, being able to apply the theory directly into the practice. It is a skill kind of in itself, and it was great to have that skill coming into my placement before I already got here, which really helped in how I'm progressing within this at the minute. So my path from kind of my undergrad to now, so I studied social science in Waterford for 3 years when I finished school in 2021, I think. And then that was a 3 year course. And then I took a year out so I could gain the experience, because I knew whatever masters I wanted to go into, I'd need to have some type of relevant experience. And then, I quickly discovered I wanted to do social work. So I took a year out and I worked in a disability service in residential and day service, and I moved to a full-time residential position. I worked for a year and a bit there, getting the experience. Like Mary said, it was important that I was able to demonstrate the advocacy role, and working in the residential, I did get quite a lot of that, being able to advocate, with the lads for things they need, access to things. One example, the local GP that they attend wasn't actually wheelchair accessible because the GP parked his car outside of the office, so you couldn't actually use the path to get a wheelchair in. So we supported the lads, to anyone who attended that GP surgery, to write in, letters of complaint and concern regarding this. I suppose the thing that I've enjoyed the most with the course is probably the content. While I was in college, from September to December, was content of all the modules. Um, I like. I think if you, a lot of people who go into social work do have a genuine interest in the area, and I think being able to study something that you love and something that you have an interest in does help a lot. But all of the content was really, really brilliant, and having my degree in social science kind of was, it built on the foundations I already had. Um, you learn so many skills within the course. You learn so many skills from, I find anyway, especially, other people in the course, my peers and friends. A lot of people, have worked in health and social care and residentials for 10 odd years. And, the type of experience they have and the knowledge they have is really invaluable, and you can't be taught that. And I think the students who go to UCD, because they have so much experience, it's an extra bonus that I don't think I would have gotten anywhere else. And then I suppose at the minute I'm on placement, and that's this, I'm really loving it. It's a brilliant opportunity. I'm learning so much. My practice teacher is brilliant. So I kind of I like all of the course. In terms of time commitment, it is a full-time course over 2 years, as Mary said. It's in college Mondays and Tuesdays, 9 to 5, and then Wednesdays were online from 9 o'clock till about 1:30, 2 o'clock. But the other days, you're still in a full-time course. There is a lot of work, not an overwhelming amount or an unmanageable amount, but you do have to really make sure that while you're studying the course, it is your priority, and that you are prioritizing getting the work done. Like all of the lecturers, all of the staff up in UCD, of course, things happen in everyone's lives. There could be family bereavements or unexpected things that pop up, illnesses, and you know, everyone supports everyone, and it's really great that way. But it is important that you're putting the course first and not the likes of a job and that type of stuff, because it is full time. Um, and then I suppose the next thing is my placement. So yeah, I'm on placement at the minute. I'm in Wexacop in Wexford. So it's integrated community care for older persons. So it deals with kind of frailty, falls, and functional decline. And the whole idea of Wexacop is to address frailty and reverse it, put in supports to be able to reverse frailty, because there was a study done by Tilda a few years ago that showed frailty is actually reversible and it's not necessarily a natural process of aging. And out of that study, the area that was found to have the most impact in reversing frailty and preventing it was actually social supports. So social work does have a huge role in this placement. We see people for carers burden, people who are caring for their loved ones who might be under significant stress or pressure. We see people who may be self-neglecting. We see people who may be sadly financially abused, neglected by their carers. We see people who maybe need help accessing certain systems, like obtaining a medical card, obtaining the correct pension. They might need help with future planning, so doing out their wills or supporting them to do an advanced healthcare directive. My practice teacher has done functional capacity assessments with some service users to support them to register for a decision-making representative. So it is really broad. I've been on visits to TUSLA, I've been on with the public health nurse, I've been in Wexford Hospital, I've been in safeguarding, I've been in a memory assessment support service, I've worked with healthy age friendly homes, I've worked with Sage Advocacy. Really, placement is time where everything you've learned and all the experience you have kind of starts to come together and make sense. And I suppose if there was one key message, it would be things can be kind of confusing while you're in the course and everything might not make sense. And, everything can seem like there's a lot going on. But once you come to placement, it really all comes together. And then I suppose what I enjoyed the most about being a UCD student, it really is the sense of community within social work. Like any social worker that I've worked alongside or learned from, they've all come from UCD. And it is nice to be able to, have that in common, stepping in the door straight away. It's something to talk about. They get coffee in the same place as I do. They had the same lecturers. Like, it is really, really good to have that kind of connection before you even start working somewhere with somebody. UCD has many facilities. It has the gym, it has the library. I myself have not used the gym, but I have used the writing centre. That's been invaluable to me. I'm dyslexic, and I suppose when I was doing my undergrad, it was fine. Everything was okay, but there is quite a big step up. Not unmanageable, but there is a step up from undergrad to postgrad. And with help of the writing centre, I was really able to make a improvement on my writing and feel more confident in my writing. Mary also ran a writing class for us at the start of this year on her own time, which was really, really helpful. I don't know if that's happening again next year, but if it is, I would highly recommend that anyone who is going to do the professional masters in social work attend that, because even it helps you for when you're on placement. We went through like documentation, report writing, all that type of stuff. Then in regards to how this course will benefit my career, well, I suppose this course is registered with Coru and accredited. So I'll be able to apply for my Coru registration once I graduate, which is needed to work as a social worker in Ireland. It's has, like a lot of international countries do recognize the degree. You have to apply separately for their registration, but because it is such a strong course, it is easy to transfer your degree to other areas. I know my practice teacher worked in Belfast for many years. She worked over in England. Another strong benefit is, as Mary was saying, there are social workers who have a dual qualification in, say, psychotherapy or counselling. And with the Masters of Social Work, you can take a shortened path of 2 years to go on and do a Masters in Psychotherapy and Counselling. And then lastly, if I give advice for the incoming students, it's okay for things to be confusing. You won't have the full picture of how everything fits together until you get to placement. It's like having a jigsaw without all the pieces. But once you get to placement, I do think things really start to come together and you start to understand the picture. Give yourself time, a lot of time. Give yourself the time to get things done. It can be intense, especially if you put things off and leave things to the last minute. And talk to the lecturers, talk to all the staff up there, talk to the other students. If you have any problems, concerns, everyone is so lovely, everyone is helpful, and everyone will do the very best they can to support you in whatever way you may need. So yeah, thank you very much. And now I'd like to introduce Nima, the next student who's going to be speaking to you. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. It's a real pleasure to be here. And to anyone who's considering this program, I hope what I share today is helpful. My name is Naama Ashur. I am from Gaza, Palestine. I'm doing my master's in Master of Science in Equality Studies here at UCD. I came here to Ireland on the Irish Fellowship Scholarship. I applied to UCD because it is the only university in Ireland and actually in Europe that offers the Equality Studies program, which I am very interested in. And also, to be honest, it wasn't only the program. I was looking to explore a whole new world and new communities. So when I was going through UCD's website and watching videos on YouTube, I just felt it. I could really see myself there. And when I arrived, it was exactly as I imagined. Before UCD, I had already built a life and a career in Gaza. I worked as a teacher at UNRWA. I was involved in humanitarian and community work with the most vulnerable groups in my community. And then the war came, which everyone knows, and everything changed. So when I was trying to figure out what to do next, I knew I wanted something different, something that goes beyond just rebuilding my career. I wanted to find a program that could speak to all the inequalities I had witnessed and lived through. I was looking for a program that looks deeper at the persistent structures of injustice that shape the world, to understand why injustice keeps reproducing itself, and to be part of something that works toward real social change. In terms of what I enjoy most about this program so far, I have to say the academic staff have been genuinely so welcoming. They've really created a space for your own voice, your experience, and your perspective. For example, the discussions and assignments are designed to speak to your knowledge and your history. These feed directly into your analysis. And this is something I hadn't experienced before and has changed how I engage with learning completely. In terms of commitment and content, I study this master full time. So each semester we have 30 credits, 2 core modules and 1 optional. This gives you like a solid foundation while leaving room to follow your own interests. The core modules cover like egalitarian theories, critical political economy, research methods, and the optional modules are where you really shape the program around what matters to you. In terms also of commitment, each module takes place once a week for 2 hours. For me, for instance, I chose decoloniality and intersectionality this semester, gender equality and public policy. And in the previous semester, I chose development and global justice as optional modules. Also, UCD has one of the most diverse student communities I have ever been part of. And learning alongside people from different backgrounds and different cultures has been really an amazing experience in so many ways. The conversation you end up having in the classroom, over a coffee, go much further than you expect. So you come for the program, but you stay for the community. This summer, I'll be working on my thesis. My research examines international higher education as a pathway to gender equality for Palestinian women who face intersectional inequalities. I want to understand whether and how international higher education can open real pathways for women in that position. And I hope what I produce contributes something useful to a question that matters deeply to me and to many others. And beyond the academic side and the amazing people I met here, I really enjoy the campus life itself, as everything you need is there. Cafes, library, gym, cinema, shops, restaurant, also woods to walk in. And nature is everywhere. And this gives you space to breathe between the intensity of the work. For after graduation, I plan to work with marginalized groups, refugees, conflict-affected people, indigenous communities through NGOs and international institutions that support these groups academically and professionally. I have to say that this program has given me the theoretical framework, the research skills, and for the future, the academic credibility to do that work at a higher level and to contribute to real lasting social change. And for anyone who's considering applying for this program, my advice is don't think it twice. This program will change your life. It was really a life changing for me, and not just professionally, but as a person. So come with your experience, come with your questions, come open, and the rest will follow. Thank you. I will now introduce my colleague Catherine from Public Policy. I will pass over to Catherine. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Nima. So my name is Catherine, but you can call me Katie, and I'm doing the Masters of Public Policy. So I did my undergrad in UCD. I chose UCD mainly because I wanted to do the wild combination of politics and international relations and drama studies, and I couldn't get that anywhere else. And I heard that UCD was really good for social sciences. In regard to the stream that I'm doing citizenship, which is no longer a stream at the moment, but I'm sure they will offer something of equivalent standard because I very much enjoyed it. I had the 3 core classes, which are still the core classes. However, I got to do 3 optional classes as part of my stream, and I chose to do ones in NGO law and critical geographies. So I was able, and gender inequality and policy. So I was able to pick from a lot of different streams. It was a big mix of group work and solo projects. Most classes involved some form of group work, and I know that's kind of scary for some prospective students because you kind of think, oh no, they're going to be awful. I had the most positive experiences in all of my group work, worked really well as a team, got to know my classmates a bit more, and cannot say how good it was. I saw a little question in the chat in regard to what the average week of an MPP student looks like. So as Orla mentioned, you'll be doing 30 credits a semester. The majority of classes are 10 credits, so most likely you'll be doing 3, max 4 classes, and each one of those classes is 2 hours a week. The majority of those will be 2-hour sessions. However, there are a few that split them into 2. So on average, you'll be on campus between 2 to 3 days a week. Also, as Orla mentioned, the core classes are on Fridays. So that meant that often we had a lot of socialization on those Fridays. I'm the class rep, and so we organized multiple kind of coffee mornings and nights out on those Friday evenings, which meant that we got to get together quite a lot as a group. In regard to the internship and thesis, I'm hoping to do the internship. At the moment, we're in the process of applying, and so I heard back from a couple, still have interviews with a couple. There was 13 organizations this year that you could apply to. I personally applied to 10, and you could also self-source them through other areas. It's worth noting that even if you do the internship, you still have to do a thesis proposal. So having an idea of what you would like to do in mind is really important. In regard to my career afterwards, I'm hoping to work for the Department of Foreign Affairs eventually. But as a stepping stone into that, I'd like to work in policy advocacy, mainly in the NGO space, which is why I chose that. UCD is a campus. It's a huge campus. It's a little bit intimidating. I know that from my undergrad, but that comes with a lot of benefits. There are a lot of facilities, multiple libraries, and you can book study rooms and private rooms. And there's also loads of great restaurants for people to meet up. And so lots of social time on campus. Um, as a closer, I'll give you three pieces of advice. One, get involved with societies if you can. It's a great way to make friends, and there's so many great societies in UCD. My personal favorite is the Horticultural Society because it means you have access to the orchards that are on campus, which means you get to go apple picking in the fall. And you also have access to the polytunnels, and you get to take home loads of free vegetables. The second one is get involved with the career guidance that's on campus as you're applying for internships, even if you don't want to. You can go to them. They have 20-minute, 30-minute sessions, and they will talk you through your CV, your applications, a specific application or something general. And they just give you a lot of great advice. There's a bunch of different ones online, in person, in multiple locations. So something to fit everybody's needs. And my final advice is to attend the Geary Institute seminars. They happen on a weekly basis in a range of policies, range of policy subjects. And if you get the chance to, I think they'd be really great. Thank you.
We've had a few questions in the chat, but I suppose one question I want to come back to with Mary, if that's okay, is about the placements for social work. How are those placements allocated? How the students apply for them? So maybe you can just speak a little bit about that, please.
Yeah, for people who are attending from a social care background, social work placements in UCD are very different. I know in social care undergraduate degrees, some programs expect you to find your own placements. In social work programs, generally your placements are found for you. So we have a placement allocations manager, Paula Slavin, and we have a director of practice placements, Sarah Donnelly. So they would find placements. They ask people about what their interest would be and where they would like to work. And we try to align people's interests with their placement. Things are getting more difficult in this landscape with extra courses opening up. We do try every year to get people where they want to go. So our placements range from the list that I gave you. So where I put the slide up with all the different placements, that's where we would have placements. What we normally try to do is give you one statutory placement where you would go to TUSLA or the HSC, and then one kind of NGO, other sort of placement that isn't statutory. So sometimes you get two placements in a statutory organisation. It really depends on the year. But the placements are generally very good, and the overall feedback that we get is that students enjoy them and that they learn a lot from them. And what we're finding now is that our students are being offered jobs on their first year placements. So people are saying, we want to offer you a job, please come back when you graduate, and they keep in contact. Or that students are getting summer jobs, particularly where they go to TUSLA, where they start a placement and then they're offered a summer job, maybe as a family support worker or as a social care worker for the summer period. So TUSLA tend to nab up our students, which is a good thing. Well, not a great thing for their work the following year, but they do nab them up. So we're in high demand.
Thanks, Mary. Thank you. And for Orla, for you, in terms of the Masters in Public Policy, in terms of those optional modules that you gave, how do students, can they select the stream? Is there, I suppose, a competition for places there on that stream, or when the students select the modules? If you can just
thanks, Emma. Yeah, so actually this is the first year that we've kind of reduced and gone over all the option modules to make sure they're the kind of best array for the students. So we don't have any caps at the moment. There are enough. There's at least 10 options under each stream. So even if more students take a particular stream, we're still confident that they won't take up an entire option module. So yeah, at the moment anyway, we haven't had issues up to this, so we're kind of leaving it open. And it's you pick your stream at the start of the trimester, and it's really because the core modules are the same across each. It's really just affects the option modules that are available to you.
Thanks, Orla. Dorota, just a question that's come up through the chat, just to clarify, with the social justice master's programs, there isn't currently the internship option. So maybe Do you know of students who maybe get an internship after the program or in the summer, or does that ever happen?
That's correct. We don't offer internships as such. That would be like the structural program, part of the program. And I would just maybe mention the career opportunities, because this is also the question that we are getting quite often. So we do have students who are, first of all, like coming from very different backgrounds, but then they are also ending up having jobs in multiple fields, including politics, journalism, public administration, and we do have our graduates working employed in major national and international organizations like Amnesty International, United Nations, the Immigrant Council of Ireland, the Crisis Pregnancy Program, Focus Ireland, and so on. And some are also going to work and are actually working in the departments for equality, diversity, and inclusion with state institutions, law firm, global enterprises. So there are multiplicity of career opportunities here, even though we don't have the internships as structurally built into our program. We do have our graduates following those different careers elsewhere.
Thanks, Dorota. Nima, we just had a question just about what is it like to be a student? You talked about your the campus life here in UCD, but just in general in Dublin, in Ireland, as an international student.
Hi. Well, in the beginning, it's gonna be like overwhelming because everything is new. But when time passes, you feel like very welcomed, and the Irish people are very warm here. The professors, your peers, it's really one of the most welcoming environment I've been ever been, and everything, like there's many support facilities in the campus that makes things easier, like career center, like the writing center, like access life and learning. All these facilities are built for the students, and you can get benefit as a student here from all these facilities that help you integrate and be part of the community, of the job market, and of the social life here.
Yeah, just very quickly, just to say as well, thanks on behalf of myself and all the panelists. Thank you for making the time to come to this webinar. As you can see, we've got so much going on, and thank you to the students for such amazing reviews. It always makes us very happy to hear that our students are doing well and enjoying themselves. We are always really happy to answer any questions. So if you have any questions that you think of in the kind of coming hours and days, just have a quick look on our website. Find whoever you want to email. We're always really happy to chat, and hope to see you at the beginning of the next academic year, or for social work, the academic year afterwards, I think. Thanks very much, guys.